Okay, last season I overachieved, and this season will probably be a bit more realistic, and we might actually see the true me here. But I'm actually going to try and finish top half. I don't want to, fake the video and fake the series. We've already been down that route before. But I bet you can't wait to see what I've done to this Sunderland side over the summer. But first things first, in terms of promotion and relegation, Brighton, Derby and Wolverhampton Wanderers were promoted from the Championship. Derby winning the playoffs against Newcastle United, the team that I got into the playoffs in a previous series. And going down is Swansea, Middlesbrough and Hull City. So that's three teams that I can look forward to not playing next season. Our pre-season went pretty well as we won 4 out of the 5 games we played, including wins over Inter Milan and Red Bull Salzburg at the Stadium of Light. But as you can see, our Premier League fixtures have been a bit kind to us, where we have Wolves and Brighton in the first few games of the season. Starting off the season away actually at Brighton. But I meant Stoke at home and Crystal Palace also in there. Means that we have a pretty easy start to the season. Although, now I've said that, we are definitely going to be losing 4 in a row now. We'll start the recap of the summer by just starting, actually, after the last game of the season when we had the end of the season awards. And Papi Djilobodji got player of the season. Surprisingly, I mean, Jermaine Defoe pretty much kept us up with the amount of goals he scored. And Djilobodji got player of the season. That makes perfect sense. We might as well go and see what Jermaine Defoe thought of that as well.
I can't believe this.
I then had a problem with Rodrigo Battaglia, as when I signed him, I promised him that I would play him in his right position and I would also strengthen the team. And apparently I broke both of them, and he wasn't happy with how I treated him. So thankfully the team weren't behind him and they were behind me. Oh shit. The board also gave me a transfer budget of 22.61 million to spend over the summer, and as I said in the last episode, I asked for your suggestions on players, and I can thankfully go through all of them and tell you exactly what happened. Ah yes, Kuki. He rejected me. Zach Clough. Costs way too much. Chris Kirkland. Not even entertaining the idea. Signed Santiago Asasibar and you're laughing, pal. Well, I'm already laughing because this is my video. Buy Emil no. Signed Jack Colback. Well, I mean, I've already used him at Newcastle and he was utter shite. And signed Adam Johnson. I mean, it takes a nonce to know a nonce. Aaron Moy was actually a suggestion which actually could have helped my team, but I didn't realise he was on the transfer list until after I signed one other player from Man City. Spoilers. Will Hughes. Cost way too much. And finally, I couldn't find a player in the database called Great Vids, but thank you anyway for the suggestions. I mean, it's unfortunate I didn't use any of them because they cost too much, or they didn't cost me anything, but they wouldn't improve the team in any way. After his loan last season, Man United offered Adnan Januzaj to us for 5 million, and we decided to take up that offer and bring him in on a 5-year deal. But I mean, he's a good player to have on the right wing if I can actually get him to play, because he didn't really play last season because he was injured for most of it. It's always nice to see the Sunderland board show some ambition and say that our minimum objective this year is to avoid relegation, just like last season, and I managed to smash that, so top half finish is probably what we're going for, but I'm going to pick avoid relegation so I don't actually get sacked. A few players left the club after their contracts expired at the club, and Jan Kirchhoff has gone. I mean, he played pretty well for us this season, but there was no need to have him in the team anymore. And also, Will Buckley has gone after his loan spell in the Championship. I mean, I forgot he existed until his news article came up. Lassi Sobiech has also left the club to go back to Germany and join Mainz for 5.75 million. And he was a good player. I mean, he got the signing of the season as well from the fans. But unfortunately, it wasn't a player that I was going to be playing too often, and I thought I might as well cash in while he's still worth something. And Darren Gibson has gone to Brighton on loan for the rest of the season, and I think I may have allowed him to play against me on the first game, so that could be a problem if he scores. So after all of that nonsense, let's look at the players that I did actually manage to sign in the summer transfer window before our first game of the season against Brighton. The first player I decided to sign was a striker, and Vincent Janssen joins us from Spurs for the season on loan, and he will be competing for a place alongside Defoe, Anichby and Henriquez. And I thought a player like him might actually do well at a team where there's less pressure on him, and probably a better manager. After signing Vincent Janssen, I decided to go out and find a left winger who can act as another striker in the team. Someone who can cut in and basically score from long range. And Chori Castro comes in from Malaga for 275,000. He's 32 years old, and I think he's pretty good stats wise, so hopefully we'll see a few goals from him this year. After signing Castro, it was then time to replace Lee Cattermole in the middle, and what better player to replace Lee Cattermole with Fabian Delph from Man City for 5.5 million. Now you're probably wondering, oh Proudie, we gave you so many suggestions. Well, I mean, all the centre midfielders that you suggested to me rejected me, and Fabian Delph was the only one who actually wanted to come, which is a bit of a surprise. Now, after signing all those 3 players, it was time to look at finding a new right back, and Joshua Brighton joins us on loan from PSV for the whole season. He played for Everton last season on loan in this game, and he didn't play very well, so I only found that out after I signed him. Whoops. We also signed a few more players, but I didn't think they were important enough to have their own segment, so, I mean, I might as well tell you who they were. Andre Wisdom also joins us from Liverpool on loan, and he's another right back, so basically both my right backs are on loan for the whole season. And we also signed João Carlos Teixeira on loan for the rest of the season, and he plays attacking midfielder, and I was meant to be signing Gylfi Sigurdsson for about 14 million until I realised that I wasn't going to be spending 14 million on a player who's just been relegated from the Premier League, so I thought I'd just take the cheap option and take a player from Porto. And also, because I want Fabian Delph to be the direct replacement for Lee Cattermole, I've decided to make him my captain as well. Oh, I am setting myself up to fail, aren't I? But here we are, after all of that summer nonsense and the transfer business and everything basically, we are now at the first game of the season away at Brighton, who have just been promoted to the Premier League, and this is the team that I've chosen to play against them. In between the sticks as usual is Jordan Pickford, and I'm hoping for a lot from him this year because he was injured for a bit of last season, and I'm actually hoping that he plays every game that we play in this season. The back 4 consists of 2 new debutants, and Santiago Garcia and Joshua Brighton play on the wings, but Kone and Gila Bodji keep their place in the centre back positions. We also start with Fabian Delph in the centre alongside Andrea Poli, and Troy Castro makes his debut on the left wing with Adnan Januzaj on the right wing. And despite signing a new striker and a new number 10, we start with Khazri as the number 10 and Jermaine Defoe leads the line. So a few of our new signings are on the bench, so Andre Wisdom, Vincent Janssen and Teixeira take their places there. And we also welcome back Jermaine Lons, who was on loan at Fenerbahce last year, and basically he's a different option to Adnan Januzaj in case Adnan Januzaj underperforms, which is most likely going to happen. I have to admit, I am a little bit nervous about how this game's going to go, because I am playing the promoted side on the first day of the season, and we all know the promoted sides always seem to do well when they're playing in the Premier League for the first ever time. I'm just getting my excuses in before I inevitably get thrashed. And I've also just found out that Brighton are the favourites this game. Fantastic. Yeah, they've gone for a very solid 4-4-2, but they did sign Billy Jones from me. I forgot to mention that in the episode earlier. Yeah, they signed Billy Jones from me. They've also got James McLean. But I mean, they've got a strike force of Sam Baldock and Cameron Jerome, so at least I know I won't be conceding to Brighton. Okay, the team talk has not gone well once again, so let's go, boys. It would be nice to actually get Sunderland in the top half, because I don't think they've actually been in the top half since like 2000, and that was years ago. But it's a long ball at the top, and Jermaine Defoe is sort of in here, and Jermaine, and it's straight at Stockdale. Great. Oh, it's a good start to the game so far. I mean, Delph has got the ball here, and it's straight at Stockdale. So 3 shots on target now. I mean, we're gonna let's play a game. Let's see when I'm gonna get a shot off target. I'm going to say the 12th minute. But I think I've got a much stronger side to last season, so I'm quite confident we're going to like lead the table. And Castro's hit the bar. Oh no. What a debut that would have been. Januzaj on the right wing, crossing the box, and Castro hits the bar from close range. I mean, he should have probably scored, but this is a very promising start for my Sunderland side. Oh, Andrea, it's Januzaj, he's in the box! 1-0! What a goal that is. There we go, Adnan Januzaj, the £5 million signing from Manchester United. What a strike to start off our season. And it was some beautiful football here. Khazri playing it to Poli. Poli slipping it through for Januzaj. And he had pretty much a free shot, and he smashes it past Stockdale. That is a good start to the season. I mean, we have played pretty well so far in the first half an hour. But yeah, looking at the first few fixtures of the season, I don't think there's any reason why we can't be top half. Like, I'm in top 6 actually. We've got Brighton, we've got Wolves, Crystal Palace, Stoke. I mean, teams that we can beat. So I don't think there's any reason we can't be in the top 6, like, by the end of the month. Well, I have to admit, like, we're winning, and we've done pretty well this half, but we should be winning by more, so it could be an issue. I mean, what is going on here? Boys? Okay, Brighton have scored. Oh dear, we are in trouble. Let's get Vincent Janssen on. It's time for him to shine. I mean, who's taking this free kick? Is it Januzaj? It's the left foot. Here's Januzaj. And it's well wide. Oh, God, this is so anticlimactic. I'm going to put Yanez on the other wing, get Castro off, bring on Lawns. I mean, surely there's a goal coming here. I mean, oh, God. I mean, surely we're attacking so much. Oh, I'm just going to pause the game a second, tell my team to push forward. That might work. Lawns! Oh, what a goal! I mean, I've just paused the game and Lawns has hit it on his left foot into the top corner from 25 yards. What a goal. I mean, why did Moyes send him out on loan last year? He could have been the difference between 14th and 13th last year. Or 13th and 12th last year, wherever I finished. I forgot where I even finished last year. Oh, and Janssen! Oh, he's missed. Oh, God. I mean, why did I sign him on loan? Actually, I signed Vincent Janssen on loan after giving Victor and Ichibi a 2-year deal. So I've now got 4 strikers to pick from and I only played 1 up front. And if I end up playing 2 up front, that means I have to drop a midfielder where I've already got 8 of them. So I don't know why I've now signed Vincent Janssen. And I've now just realised this in the 95th minute against Brighton. And surely the ref has to blow for full time. I mean, we're in overtime of added time. And it's over. We've won 2-1 at Brighton. Thank you very much. What a win that was. I mean, Jermaine Lawns, where are you, son? He came off the bench and got player of the match. And he was only on for 11 minutes. I mean, if that doesn't tell you how shit the game was, I don't know what can. But Man United won 6-0 and we're 5th in the league. So I'm going to take a picture of that because we're never going to be that high up the league again, probably.